The team documented challenges of maintaining the acequias, from loss of easement access to deteriorating infrastructure. President Joe Fernandez and Mayordomo Vicente Fernandez explain.
The problem that we have with this acequias is that maintenance has not been done on them for a lot of years. They've been kind of ignored, and we have stuff like this, people building right next to the acequia. That's one of the things we need to do. We need to educate those people.
People have let the acequias go. They aren't maintained the way they used to be. All the acequias here that I manage, the majority need new head gates, laterals need to be cleaned out. The desagües are maintained so that your water doesn't flow onto your neighbor's land. Traditionally, the acequias belong to the community. Here in Cañon, from the middle of that ditch, 10 feet to each side is the right-of-way for the acequia. So if you see the mayordomo walking through your land, you can't go out there and tell him, hey, you're trespassing, because he's not trespassing. That's a traditional right-of-way. And it's state law also. The other thing is people put up fences and don't give you access. Every fence has to have an access, a gate for the mayordomo to go through.
We also learned about the challenges of drought from Cipriano Medina, president of Acequia Vigil y Romo.
Because, there's no water, basically. We've lost the ditches out here because of lack of water and lack of maintenance. So then people have just let the land go because they can't get water to it at this point.
There is also the impacts of impairment perceived as drought, as related by Mayordomo of the Spring Ditch, Dave Rael.
Back in the early 70s, the Town of Taos built a well. And as the years went on, our acequias delivered less and less and less water to our acequia. And my dad had this idea, what we need to do is go over there and divert some water from the acequia to the lateral to the field, because my dad's worry was if we don't use this acequia, we risk losing the acequia. So we went and diverted all the water from the spring ditch to the agricultural land. The water never got there because there wasn't enough water. So the water would start sinking into the ground, and the water never got there. So what happened as a result of that effort, we were of the mind that we were in a drought. We never thought that perhaps somebody was impairing our right. And the end result will be that we will lose our acequia because of different people impairing us, including the Town of Taos.
Most surprising were the accounts of disregard for the acequias over the last several decades, as explained by Dr. Rodriguez.
Development, urbanization, the spread of cities, water rights transfers out of agriculture to the ski valley, to subdivisions, deleterious policy, ignorant, indifferent, sometimes hostile politicians. They don't realize that a certain policy is going to have, an impact 20 years down the line. They don't think, what does that mean? There are a lot of policies that are set up to favor developers, people with money, and who want to urbanize.
And confirmed by Councilman Fritz Hahn.
Not only has the Town of Taos paved over ditches, not just the spring ditch, but other ditches. The Taos School District has done the same. The Department of Transportation has done the same. This ambivalence by us town leaders to ignore our acequia tradition has had a profound impact on our agricultural community here in Taos.
Mayordomo Vince Martinez shared his experience with the harsh consequences.
Now we've got 3 dead acequias that are no longer in use, just in this area here. And we used to use that ditch when I was young, I remember we used to have gardens and we used to get the hay, and it was used for agricultural purposes. But they're all gone now.
For the acequias that are functioning, we learned about problems and solutions for noxious invasive weeds. Mayordomo Vince Martinez and President John Hall shared some of their experience.
I've been here all my life, and we never had any of this weeds, And I've had a heck of a time keeping my place clean, But if you cut it before it seeds, but you got to do it over a period of 2-3 years.
We've got a scourge of foxtail in there now. Unless neighbors help each other out with weeds, it's really difficult to control them.
Most importantly, the YCC team learned about the strength and potential of the surviving acequias. John Hall talks about the growing interest in agricultural production on his acequia.
Everything is right for it. And as you can see, all the green from the willows and from the grasses that are here, it's a good growing situation. And once we control the weeds and get in the crops, all we have to do is fight the prairie dogs. We grow grass here. The next field over grows grass for his cows and his cattle. I grow it for my donkeys and my horse. I also sell hay. About an acre or 2 acres of my property is being used for corn now by a man who's trying to grow corn and make a living off of it for selling it in town. And then further down, most people are just either using it for small gardens or a few hay fields.
Joe Fernandez and Tony Zamora related the importance of water.
And the thing is, we can't afford to lose our water. I hope you realize that. I hope you understand that. And you take that to heart, because it's hard. It really is nowadays. That ditch up there, pretty dry. The only one that's running is that one down there, and the reason is water's drying up. We had good snowfall. Looked like we were going to have a good year. Guess what? It warmed up in February, March, and there it went. If we don't protect our water right now, there ain't making it anymore. And the thing is, we got to protect what we have.
Our water is so much more important than money. How long can you live without water, and how long can you live without money? You know, there's a big difference. You might be lucky to live more than 3 days without water, but you can live a long time without money, you know, a lot longer than 3 days. This isn't just a matter that's happening within just our town here. It's a whole world issue, water. It's going to be worth more than oil sometime, you know? It's like it already is. I mean, you figure to go buy a gallon of water isn't that cheap. It's like it's our life.
Mayordomo Vicente Fernandez and Tony Zamora expressed the importance of tradition to the continuation of acequia culture and the benefits of acequias to a global community.
Well, as progress comes in, what happens is a lot of traditions go out the door. You know, the traditional ways shouldn't be changed. Those have been around for hundreds of years. There's some things that do change. You know, change has to happen. It has to happen for us to move forward. But we can't forget our traditions, and that's what the acequias are. So the acequias are the ones that keep the traditions alive. All the traditions, the fiestas we have is because of water, the harvest. That's what they're meant to do, to celebrate the harvest. And, you know, water is life, and the acequias are our life. That's what keeps our tradition alive. If we were to let them go, no tradition.
This is the importance of the whole town. This is our tradition. This is our roots. This is what the people relied on.
The YCC members gained an experience that not only increased their understanding of the acequias in Taos, but generated enthusiasm and hope amongst our acequia leadership and the community at large. This gratitude is shared by acequia President Joe Fernandez.
And, you know, I'm really glad that you guys are doing this because of the fact that we really don't have a way of knowing where our ditches go through, you know, where the laterals are and everything else. And that's one of the things that I've wanted to do. And I'm glad that you're finally working on it. And, you know, that'll really help not only us, but it'll help the community, the county, everyone.